Thank you all for joining us here today for a Parks Development update from Adam Moore, Milwaukee's Park Development Coordinator. As a reminder, we're using the last 30 minutes of the monthly PARB meeting for process updates from members of PARB, invited boards and liaisons, and the public on the development of Bowman Bray, Balfour, and Scott Parks. This item is informational only, and larger public engagement opportunities with the community will be scheduled at other times and shared with this group and posted on the city website. Members of the community are welcome to listen into the PARB meetings, hear about important upcoming dates and processes, and can email any questions to park projects at milwaukieoregon.gov for staff to follow up with them. We appreciate the interest and participation from everyone present and encourage them to stay engaged as the parks development process proceeds. Parks updates can also be found at milwaukieoregon.gov/park projects. Questions asked of staff at tonight's meeting may require staff to follow up individually or at the next month's meeting. Questions may be sent to staff ahead of PARB meetings, and staff will attempt to answer them at upcoming meetings. Specific requests related to boards, commissions, and associations may require a special meeting with that group to address. Please reach out to staff to discuss. These meetings will be recorded and available on the city's YouTube channel.
Good.
On to you, Adam.
Natalie, do you want to pull up your screen that you had up earlier? Okay, welcome everybody. So for those of you who are just joining us, we took the first part of this meeting to start talking about dates, and we're going to kind of start back at the top of this calendar and walk you all through it. And PARB members and other members, please feel free to stop me if you have questions. As I was telling PARB, this project has extremely tight deadlines that come with the funds for it. Those are put on to us by the federal government, and then we have additional tighter ones from the state to make sure that we use this money in time. What that means is that I have to put in a lot of community engagement into a very short period of time. I have worked with my consultants as much as possible. And time's been a little bit unfair to them, but we've pushed them for as much time for community engagement as possible. I do want to mention that I feel like we are doing all of the meetings and surveys and opportunities for people that I would have wanted if I had all the time in the world. What we are missing here, and I want to just be transparent with you and recognize that like all these steps come very, very close together, and I understand that that is not ideal. And please know that like as a planner who really values public engagement and transparency, like it's not necessarily ideal for us either, but we have this money, we have to use it in time, and we also have to try to make sure that we have public plans. So starting with some dates that are not on this schedule, on July 13th, we had a BIPOC focus group that was in Spanish that was held at the Wichita Center. That was invitation only and run by our consultants. We had a very great discussion from what I understand. I introduced myself, as did our equity steering committee member. We welcomed everybody to the process and encouraged them to stay with us. And then we excused ourselves. So I will get a survey of the feedback that was given both on Milwaukee parks in general, as well as these specific 3 parks. I will get summaries of that communication in early September. And that is one of the many different summaries that I will provide to all of you as part of your packet for the September meeting. On July 20th, last Wednesday, we had the Balfour open house. It was very well attended. Thank you for Ben who came. I'm not sure I saw any other PARB members there. It was a very hot night. It was about 94 degrees. Still, we had 57 people who signed in. We did not count people who did not sign in, but I would estimate that including, kids, people in groups or families who said, oh, so-and-so signed in already. I would put that number closer to probably 75 people. And we got some tremendous feedback on that existing 2015 plan. If you missed us at Balfour Park until August 4th, there is a survey on Engage Milwaukie, which duplicates the written survey that we had at the open house, and also has we've duplicated one of the planning activities that we had there, and you should be able through Engage Milwaukie provide us the same type of feedback that we were looking for at that Belfour open house. What we learned at Belfour Park is that it's really hard to get good feedback when it's very hot. And of course, it was much hotter last night, which means that on Thursday, we decided that we were going to postpone the Bowman Bray open house that was scheduled for Tuesday. I actually did go to the park last night. I sat in an air-conditioned city vehicle with a cooler of popsicles and cool water and cool sodas. We did have 3 people who didn't get the memo that the project was, or the open house was postponed, but they now know that that has been rescheduled for August 6th. That's a Saturday from 11 to 1, and we hope everyone can join us. The survey for Bowman Bray is live on Engage Milwaukie right now, and just like the Belfour one, we're collecting similar feedback. So that same written survey is online, and the amenities board that we're looking for feedback on, that is online as well. We also, in between there, on Monday, we had a focus group with people for people with disabilities. We got some really great feedback, even though we had a smaller group than we expected. We had some people that weren't able to join us, but we got some really great feedback. I've been doing this for a while, and some of the things that came out of that focus group were things that I just had not considered. And I heard similar things from some of our other consultants who were there. The summaries from all of the things that I'm explaining to you will all be available to you and the council in September. So that brings us to tonight, the July 27th PARB meeting. We were also going to have a BIPOC focus group on August 3rd in English. It turns out August is a really hard time to do these focus groups. And because of the importance that we're placing on BIPOC participation in this project, we've decided to postpone that. The date is to be determined, and we're working with our equity steering committee manager, John Hennington, to reschedule that. Some of you have already heard from John and from our consultants. I will keep everybody apprised when I know more about that. On August 4th, that's next Thursday, we will have a Scott Park planning meeting. So this is not an open house. There won't be face painters or balloon animals, unfortunately. There will be food, but this is a planning meeting. So we're getting a little bit more serious here. The first half of the meeting will be held in the Leading Library Community Room. We will look at a presentation from our consultants. We will look at 2 conceptual plans, which kind of culminate the feedback that we got at the May 1st event and since that event on what Scott Park should look like. We are going to be looking for people's opinions on what they like or don't like. And we are going to be working our way down eventually to one single Scott Park plan. This is the first look at what those 2 concepts could be. This isn't like necessarily like, hey, vote for concept A or vote for concept B. Which one do you like better? It's what do you like out of each of these sort of things? And we'll be working it closer together throughout now until December 6th. Because as I was mentioning to PARB earlier, December 6th is a very, very hard deadline for this project. I have to get these plans before council on December 6th and to a vote. On August 6th, we have the rescheduled Bowman Bray open house that will be from 11 to 1 p.m. I know Virginia has already reached out to me about volunteering for that event. So thank you, Virginia, for doing so. PARB members and NBA members, if you're looking to volunteer with us, we would love to have you. I could use some help setting up starting around 10. And I expect that we'll be there cleaning things up until about maybe 2 o'clock or so. I do have city help and consultant help for some of these things, but you are welcome to join us. On August 7th, next week is a very big week for me. I will be doing some pop-up engagement at Carefree Sunday. This is more general feedback, letting people know about the project, how to get involved online at this point, and how to participate in future events. Potentially, you all have special meetings. I am not going to talk about the city council meeting on the 9th or August 16th, because that is not necessarily related directly to this project. But the public comment period for this round of feedback ends on August 19th. And as I was explaining to PARB earlier, what that means is you can give us feedback on August 20th or any other time that you wish. It just means that in order to get this feedback in front of our consultants and myself, so that we have time to read all the comments and work them into the plans for October, I need to give my consultants some time to work. And that needs to start on August 20th. So yeah, Natalie, if you want to scroll down to September. So all of that feedback that we digest will be available to me in September. I will make it available to council, and I will be giving a very short half an hour update to city council. This will be very typical to the updates that I've given council before. Very, very high level bullet point sort of conversations with them, keeping them aware of what we are doing and where we are going. We then have worked into the scope of work of our project, a presentation on playground design. A very big part of the work that I like to do, and something that I think matches up well with our equity goals as a city and as this project, and also now PARB, is to make sure that people have the right information and knowledge to provide meaningful feedback that comes from an informed sort of position. So we have worked into our schedule, and we are tentatively scheduling this for September 22nd with our consultants. We also have an opportunity to involve a certain PARB member who has some expertise in playgrounds. We have worked this out with our consultants and with the city, and we determined that it is not a conflict of interest for a certain PARB member to share his expertise on certain types of playground design, as long as they are not related to individual parks in this project or individuals at once. But this presentation on the 22nd could be set at a special time. I'm going to recommend that you set this at like 5:30 so everybody can join. It will be recorded, and it will go over inclusive play, universal play, nature play, and sort of the safety considerations around those, as well as some of the cost and maintenance considerations around those, just so that all of you can provide good feedback to us in October. PARB, you have the opportunity to then have a longer meeting at your regular date and time on the 28th, that's September 28th. In that case, I could walk you through the surveys and the summaries of the feedback that you're given in your packet, but that is a decision that you all will need to make as a group. And then into October, between October 6th and 19th, we have another engagement window. This will be very similar to the one that we are in right now. We will be looking at a revised plan for Bowman Bray. That will include a planning meeting and an online survey. We'll be looking at a revised Belfour plan. That includes you guessed it, planning meeting and online survey. And we'll be looking at 2 different concepts for Scott Park. Unlike the ones that we're going to look at next Thursday, these ones are going to be refined, and there's going to be a lot of overlap. And that's why you see this on this schedule as listed as like 1.5/2 plans, because you're going to see 2 separate site plans or 2 separate diagrams for what Scott Park could look like, but there's going to be a lot of overlap based on the feedback that we get in August. Just like in August, I need to get all the feedback to be meaningful for these plans by October 19th. And so if PARB, if you want to schedule a special meeting to go through these plans, as I mentioned before, this could be about a 2-hour meeting at least. That would need to be scheduled and moved up to fit that window. And the latest it could be is October 19th. On the 22nd, we have Arbor Day. That would be general feedback. And then in November, on November 1st, I will give City Council another update. This will again be a high level update, about a half an hour long. And now the moment that we've all been working towards is PARB, you have an opportunity to schedule a special meeting. And this special meeting would need to come around November 16th. That is the latest it could be. Excuse me, that is the earliest it can be, because I will not have these plans until the afternoon of the 16th. But that is the earliest I can put the plans in front of you. And this would be the first time that anyone sees those. And I am dead serious when I'm saying, like, I'm not going to see these plans until the afternoon of November 16th. But the reason that meeting is important is because these are the final plans. These are the plans that are going to go into a staff report on November 23rd and be delivered to council. And between November 23rd and December 2nd, we'd be asking PARB to write a letter of support. Hopefully you're going to support these plans because you like what you've seen in these, because you've worked with us and the community on what's going in them. And then the last date for that meeting would be December 2nd. And off the screen right now would be a city council meeting on Tuesday, December 6th. And that is when council would vote on these plans. So that is what the next 5 months look like. And that's why I'm going on vacation from the 8th through the 12th, because after that, I am working a whole heck of a lot. So that is the schedule. I wanted to give it to you kind of all at once so you can see where we're going. And it is up to you if you want to move a meeting around in August, if you want to have a longer meeting in September, if you want to make this presentation in September a PARB meeting, and if you want to move that meeting in October, and if you want to have a special meeting in November. As I mentioned, this train is rolling around on a schedule that is set by the state and by our council schedule. And so it's up to PARB. If you want to move your meetings around, please do. I am sorry that it is happening this way. I really, honestly, my hands are just very, very tied to this money that we have for the grant. And to that, I will leave it all up to you.
So I will say we are at 6:03. So I understand if folks need to head out, but I think next steps, at least immediate steps, would be I'm going to send out a doodle poll for this special meeting that we would have in August. I can, in the same vein, send out doodle polls for the special meetings that we showed on the calendar. And I think that might be a good way to get folks, and Adam, you and I can kind of coordinate on those later meetings. I'm going to try to send out that doodle poll for the August one sooner rather than later, because it's coming up quick. But you and I can coordinate to make sure that you're available for whatever times we're proposing in these doodle polls. And if it sounds good to everyone, I'll do the same kind of process for any special meeting that we have to make sure that we're choosing a date that folks can make. Can I get kind of a thumbs up, a wave? Perfect. Awesome. Cool. All right. Of course, if you have any questions around the parks development schedule, reach out to Adam. Ben. Oh, sorry.
Just before we end, I just want to remind everybody that the open house that was supposed to be last night at Bowman Bray Park has been rescheduled. New postcards will go out to the same people who received postcards for the meeting that was supposed to be last night. And the survey for Bowman Bray Park is open right now for people who can't make it. So we hope to see you on Saturday, August 11th, or excuse me, August 6th from 11 to 1. And that information is on our website. It will be coming out in a postcard, and surveys are on Engage Milwaukie right now. Thanks.
Okay, are we at the close of the meeting? Before we close, I just want to thank Jackson for his participation in the last year, year and a half, 2 years. I don't know. We've been in a time warp. I can't put a definitive time on it, but you've been really awesome. And I'm so inspired by your input and how young you are and how thoughtful you are in contributing at such a high level. I hope that your year off from technology, joining tribes and following Jack Kerouac is inspiring to you. And I hope you come back and visit us because we really enjoyed you.
And make sure you write down in your calendar, so you're going offline, these different park events, so you can wander in and still provide feedback.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you, Natalie. I want to say thank you to all of the members of PARB, especially the ones that I've been with for longer, but also to the new members for being so kind and just great people to work with, and also for wanting to do this work for Milwaukie. I feel like I've learned a lot and I've had some great experiences. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Well, you've been a model youth member, and I know other boards and commissions have been envious of our amazing, engaged PARB youth member, and he brought such a good perspective in. And so we're very appreciative of everything you've contributed, and you will have a lasting impact for sure. So I hope to see you around town in a park or anything. And if you need to reach out to any of us, you have our info. You also have my address here at the city if you need to just wander in.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone. With that, anybody make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
To adjourn the meeting.
Second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Okay. Great meeting. Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Stay cool if you need somewhere. I've got a space.
Bye.
Bye.
We're still recording.
All right, let's see. Just trying to figure out how to do this.